Dear beloved chosen ones, have you ever wondered why some of the most enlightened, wise, and spiritually gifted individuals were not necessarily the brightest in school? This question might have crossed your mind, especially if you've ever felt out of sync with the traditional education system. Society often measures intelligence by grades, test scores, and diplomas. But as God's chosen ones, you possess a different kind of brilliance, a brilliance that goes far beyond textbooks, formulas, and exams. Your mind operates on a higher plane, one that doesn't always align with the rigid structures of traditional schooling. You may have found yourself struggling within the confines of the educational system. Perhaps you were misunderstood, labeled as distracted, or even underappreciated. If you've ever felt like an outsider, or like something deeper within you wasn't being recognized or nurtured, know that you are not alone. You were never meant to conform to the world's idea of success. Your journey, though unique, is one of great purpose. It's a path designed by God, and it leads you to something far greater than the limits of conventional education. In this video, we're going to uncover 8 profound reasons why you, as one of God's chosen ones, might not have been the brightest in school. These reasons will show you that your struggles weren't failures. They were signs that you were meant for something more. You are being shaped for a purpose much grander than academic validation. Your divine calling is not found in textbooks or standardized tests, but in the unique way you see and experience the world. And before we dive in, I want to take a moment to express my heartfelt gratitude to all of you who have supported this channel through super thanks. Whether your donation is large or small, it means the world to me. Your generosity helps us continue to share messages of hope and truth with others, and it allows us to reach more of God's chosen ones like you. Thank you for being part of this beautiful journey. Your support, whether financial or emotional, is truly appreciated, and I am deeply grateful. If this message resonates with you and you feel like it arrived at the perfect moment, type 777 in the comment section below to affirm that you are exactly where you need to be. It's a sign of the divine working through you and guiding you toward the extraordinary purpose God has for you. Let's create an atmosphere of blessings and encouragement as we move forward together. Now, let's get started and explore these 8 powerful reasons why you, the chosen ones, were never meant to fit into the traditional system. Your brilliance goes far beyond what the world can measure. God's chosen ones, 8 reasons why you weren't the brightest in school. Number 1, you learn differently. Have you ever felt like you didn't quite fit into the traditional education system? Perhaps you often found yourself struggling to follow the rigid structures and standardized tests that dominated the classroom. As one of God's chosen ones, you may have realized that your mind doesn't operate like others. The world's education system tends to favor those who can memorize facts, regurgitate information on command, and thrive in a structured environment. But what if the system isn't designed to bring out the brilliance that lies within you? What if your learning style is different, yet far more profound? You, the chosen ones, are intuitive learners. Your ability to absorb knowledge doesn't come from mechanical repetition or linear thinking. You learn through deep contemplation, personal experience, and a keen ability to observe the world around you. This is a gift from God, one that sets you apart from others in ways that may not always be immediately visible. Have you ever found yourself making connections between ideas that seem unrelated, discovering patterns that others missed? That's the way your mind operates. It's a divine gift. helping you to see wisdom in places others cannot. In the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus says, "But blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear." Matthew 13:16. This verse speaks directly to you. Your ability to perceive and understand is a blessing, and it is through this unique ability that you will grow. While your peers may thrive in the confines of a classroom, following a structured curriculum, you are destined to learn through life, experience, and divine inspiration. Think about the story of Albert Einstein. As a child, Einstein struggled in traditional schooling. He was even considered a poor student by many of his teachers. But his brilliant mind, working in ways that the world didn't fully understand, eventually led to his groundbreaking discoveries in physics. His theory of relativity changed how we understand the universe. Imagine if Einstein had been judged solely by his academic performance as a child. He might never have been recognized for the genius he was. This story proves that brilliance doesn't always manifest in the traditional ways. You too may find your greatest strengths not in conformity to educational norms, but in your ability to see the world through a different lens. In 1 Corinthians 2:9, we are reminded of the unique and extraordinary things God has in store for those who are open to His wisdom. What no eye has seen, what no ear has heard, and what no human mind has conceived, the things God has prepared for those who love Him. This speaks to the divine wisdom you possess. While others may follow set patterns and structures, you are called to uncover wisdom that no one else can see, to experience life in a way that others may never fully understand. Does this sound familiar? Have you ever felt like you were being forced to fit into a box that wasn't made for you? This is a feeling shared by many who are chosen by God for a higher purpose. The traditional system simply doesn't recognize the depth of your insight. You may have struggled with school in ways that others did not, but in your heart, you always knew that you were capable of more. The way you learn is not in linear steps, but in sudden flashes of understanding, in deep moments of insight, and in experiences that others may never have the privilege of encountering. Take, for example, Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo was a man whose genius extended far beyond the boundaries of traditional education. He was not only a brilliant artist, but also an inventor, engineer, and scientist. During his time, his ideas were often seen as eccentric, and his education did not follow a typical path. Yet, it was precisely his unconventional thinking that led him to create masterpieces like the Mona Lisa and conceptualize inventions that were centuries ahead of their time. Da Vinci's story illustrates that some of the greatest minds in history did not follow a prescribed academic path, but rather charted their own course through life's lessons. In Romans 12:2, we are reminded of the divine calling not to conform to the world's standards. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. As one of the chosen ones, your mind is being transformed. Your learning process might not fit into the neat categories of the world's education system, but it is no less valuable. God has equipped you to think differently, to learn in your own unique way, and to bring about change in the world that others cannot fathom. Your path may not always seem clear, but it is designed by God with purpose and intention. The struggles you faced in traditional educational settings may have been meant to push you into a place where you can discover the true depth of your potential. You are not called to follow the crowd. Instead, your journey involves a higher calling, a calling to learn through experience, intuition, and divine inspiration. Your learning process, though different, is just as valuable, if not more so, than the traditional routes followed by others. The world may not always understand your path, but God has prepared you for something extraordinary. As the chosen ones, you are destined to discover wisdom and knowledge that will change the world in ways that others cannot yet comprehend. Number 2, you questioned everything. Have you ever found yourself questioning everything around you, even when others seem content to simply accept things as they were? Do you often feel like you are seeking deeper answers, refusing to settle for surface-level explanations? As one of God's chosen ones, you possess an insatiable curiosity, a thirst for knowledge that compels you to challenge the status quo. From an early age, you've been driven by a desire to understand the why behind everything, not just the what. This relentless questioning is not a flaw, but a divine gift. While others might accept information at face value, you, the chosen ones, are called to dig deeper, to seek the truths that lie beneath the surface. Do you ever feel like the answers you are given don't satisfy you? Like there is more to the story than meets the eye? This is because God has given you a mind that thirsts for wisdom and understanding, one that cannot simply accept what is handed to you without seeking the underlying truth. In Proverbs 2:6 we are reminded, "For the Lord gives wisdom, from his mouth come knowledge and understanding." Your desire to question and understand is not only a natural part of your being, but also a reflection of God's plan for you. Your mind is designed to seek out deeper understanding, to challenge what is presented to you, and to uncover the wisdom that lies beneath the surface. While others may accept what they are taught, you are destined to uncover hidden truths, much like the great thinkers of history who dared to challenge established beliefs. Consider the example of Galileo Galilei, who, in the 16th century, challenged the prevailing view that the Earth was the center of the universe. His questioning led to the discovery that the Earth revolves around the Sun, which was a groundbreaking idea at the time. Galileo's curiosity and refusal to accept things as they were revolutionized the way we understand the cosmos. Just like Galileo, you, as one of the chosen ones, are destined to question the norm, to explore new perspectives, and to uncover truths that others might miss. In Matthew 7:7, Jesus encourages us to seek deeper understanding. "Ask, and it will be given to you. Seek, and you will find. Knock, and the door will be opened to you." Your constant questioning is a form of seeking, a desire to know the truth that God has prepared for you. As the chosen ones, you are not meant to accept life as it is presented to you, but to seek the deeper meaning behind every experience. Your questions are the keys that unlock greater wisdom, and God is ready to answer those who seek him. Does it sometimes feel like your constant questioning gets you into trouble, especially with authority figures or teachers who prefer conformity? It's not uncommon for chosen ones to be misunderstood. Your refusal to accept things blindly can often be seen as rebellion or stubbornness by those who are more comfortable with compliance. But in reality, your deep thirst for wisdom is what sets you apart. You're not interested in simply following the crowd. You're driven by a desire to uncover the truth, no matter how uncomfortable it may be. Take the example of Socrates, the ancient Greek philosopher, who is known for his method of questioning everything around him. He famously said, "The unexamined life is not worth living." Socrates challenged his fellow citizens to question their beliefs, their assumptions, and their understanding of the world. This was not out of rebellion, but from a deep desire to understand the truth. Like Socrates, you are called to question everything, to challenge assumptions, and seek a deeper, more meaningful understanding of the world and your place in it. In Romans 12:2, Paul urges us to not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. The chosen ones are not meant to conform to the world's expectations or follow the paths that others walk. Instead, you are called to renew your mind, to challenge what is presented to you, and to seek a deeper understanding of God's will for your life. Your questioning is not a sign of rebellion. It is a reflection of your desire for transformation, growth, and wisdom. While others may be content to follow the rules and accept things at face value, you are driven by a deeper, more profound purpose. Your constant questioning is a sign that you are destined for greatness. For those who seek wisdom will find it. Embrace your curiosity, knowing that it is part of the divine plan that God has set before you. Number 3. You were more interested in spiritual knowledge. Have you ever felt a sense of emptiness when you sat in class, as if the subjects being taught could never truly satisfy the deeper questions bubbling inside of you? Did you ever feel like your curiosity was too vast for the narrow scope of traditional education? While your classmates were engrossed in history, mathematics, and science, did you feel drawn to something greater, something that could provide the answers to the mysteries of existence itself? As one of God's chosen ones, you've always been more intrigued by the unseen forces shaping the world, the true nature of consciousness, and the purpose of life. But why does this interest run so deep within you? The subjects that fascinated others, such as dates and formulas, were often insufficient to fulfill the hunger for knowledge that you felt inside. These topics might have seemed shallow to you, offering only glimpses of the surface reality, while your mind and soul yearned for more. Do you ever wonder why the material world, with its complexities, never seemed enough? Your mind was always seeking to understand the mysteries of the spiritual world, the forces beyond the physical. You were not just concerned with how the world works, but with why it exists at all. Does this sound familiar to you, chosen one? In Colossians 2:3, the Bible speaks to the hidden wisdom available to those who seek it, in whom are hidden all the treasures of wisdom and knowledge. This verse speaks directly to you. While the world may offer material wisdom, there is a deeper, more profound wisdom that lies beyond the surface. The chosen ones are gifted with the ability to see and understand this wisdom, a wisdom that comes from seeking divine truth, rather than simple, earthly knowledge. Have you ever felt like the answers you were looking for weren't in the classroom, but in the silence of your own thoughts or the stillness of your spirit? Your curiosity has always been driven by a desire for spiritual knowledge. While others might focus on acquiring facts or skills, you have been compelled to ask the deeper questions. What is the purpose of life? What happens after death? What forces guide the events in our lives? The traditional curriculum may have tried to teach you one version of reality, but it could not satisfy your quest for understanding. Have you ever felt like the books in the classroom could not answer the profound questions that swirled within you? This is because, as the chosen ones, you were destined for a different kind of learning, one that transcends the material world. Consider the example of Carl Jung, the renowned Swiss psychiatrist, whose work went far beyond the boundaries of traditional psychology. Jung was fascinated by the unconscious mind and was deeply influenced by spirituality and mysticism. He believed that understanding the human psyche required more than just scientific knowledge. It required a deep exploration of the spiritual and mystical dimensions of human existence. Jung explored ancient texts, symbols, and archetypes, seeking wisdom from places that others might have dismissed as esoteric. His groundbreaking work opened up new paths in psychology, showing that spiritual knowledge was just as vital to understanding the human experience as scientific knowledge. Just like Jung, you, the chosen ones, are destined to seek knowledge that goes beyond what is tangible and measurable. In Proverbs 2:6, we are reminded that, "For the Lord gives wisdom, from his mouth come knowledge and understanding." This wisdom is not the kind that can be acquired from textbooks or through rote memorization. It is a divine wisdom, one that is given freely to those who seek it with all their hearts. Your spiritual quest for knowledge is not just a personal desire, it is part of God's plan for your life. Your hunger for understanding the unseen world is part of your calling as one of the chosen ones. You are not meant to be satisfied with worldly knowledge alone, but to seek the deeper wisdom that God has prepared for you. Does it sometimes feel like your deep interest in spiritual matters makes you stand apart from others? While your peers focused on memorizing formulas or studying historical events, you were drawn to ancient wisdom, mystical teachings, and spiritual practices. Your mind was constantly searching for the answers that couldn't be found in the classroom. Have you ever felt disconnected from others because of your focus on the spiritual realm? It's not that you were uninterested in the world around you, but that your soul was destined to seek something higher, something beyond the material world. Take the example of Rumi, the 13th century Persian poet and mystic. Rumi's life was defined by his deep spiritual journey, one that transcended the boundaries of religion, culture, and time. His poetry, filled with profound insights into the nature of God, love, and existence, continues to inspire millions today. Rumi's work wasn't focused on material success or worldly achievements. Instead, it sought to connect with the divine and uncover the deeper truths of life. Like Rumi, your spiritual curiosity is not just a passing phase. It is a divine calling, and it will lead you to discover profound insights that will not only transform your life, but the lives of those around you. In Matthew 7:7, Jesus encourages us to ask, seek, and knock. Ask, and it will be given to you. Seek, and you will find. Knock, and the door will be opened to you. This promise is made to those who are searching for the deeper truths of life, for those who are willing to seek wisdom beyond what is immediately visible. As the chosen ones, you are called to ask, to seek, and to knock, to search for the spiritual knowledge that will unlock the mysteries of existence. This knowledge is available to you, and God is ready to reveal it to those who are faithful in their pursuit. Your interest in spiritual knowledge is not a distraction or a detour from the real world. It is a sign of your higher calling, a calling that transcends the material world and invites you into a deeper, more meaningful understanding of life. The knowledge you seek will transform you and lead you toward the divine purpose God has set before you. Keep seeking, keep asking, and know that your hunger for truth will eventually be satisfied in ways that others cannot yet imagine. Number 4, you struggled with meaningless tasks. Have you ever felt like the tasks you're given are completely devoid of meaning? Do you often find yourself unable to engage with assignments that don't speak to your soul, making the work feel like a burden instead of an opportunity for growth? As one of God's chosen ones, you possess an innate need for purpose in everything you do. You're not satisfied with superficial rewards or hollow achievements. You're driven by a higher calling, one that demands that your actions be filled with meaning, creativity, and a deeper connection to the world around you. So, when faced with tasks that feel repetitive, pointless, or unconnected to your true purpose, like memorizing arbitrary dates, solving dry math problems, or writing essays on topics that stir no emotion, do you feel disconnected from the process? You're not alone. Chosen ones like you are not simply motivated by external rewards or a desire to fit into the molds created by society. Your mind works on a deeper level, one that requires exploration, discovery, and personal growth. The idea of engaging in repetitive tasks for the sake of completing them without a larger purpose can feel like an empty exercise in futility. You intuitively sense that true learning and growth are not about following rigid instructions, but about discovering, creating, and uncovering deeper truths. Does this disconnect between the tasks you are given and the way you are designed to learn leave you feeling frustrated and unfulfilled? You're not lazy or unmotivated. You're simply not willing to invest your energy into things that do not align with your higher purpose. In Ecclesiastes 3:22, we are reminded, "So I saw that there is nothing better for a person than to enjoy their work, because that is their lot, for who can bring them to see what will happen after them?" This verse resonates with the chosen ones because it speaks to the heart of why you struggle with meaningless tasks. You are designed to find joy and fulfillment in work that aligns with your passions and divine purpose. Your purpose is not to toil away mindlessly, but to engage in work that brings you joy and serves a higher calling. When you are allowed to focus on what truly matters to you, the results are far beyond what traditional systems can measure. Think back to the school subjects you found most draining. Do you ever wonder why subjects like history or mathematics felt like a waste of time, while others, perhaps art, philosophy, or even spiritual exploration, sparked something deep within you? This isn't a sign of weakness or laziness. Rather, it is a reflection of your deeper understanding of the world. You may have struggled with tasks that required mechanical memorization or formulaic approaches because your mind operates differently. It's as though your soul is tuned into a higher frequency that cannot be satisfied with dry facts alone. If only the educational system could have recognized your gifts and allowed you to focus on the subjects that ignited your passion, you would have excelled beyond measure. Take the example of Elon Musk, who, like many chosen ones, didn't fit neatly into the box created by the educational system. Musk's interests and creativity didn't align with conventional schooling, and he was often labeled as difficult or disengaged. But once he was free to pursue what inspired him, space exploration, technology, and innovation, his true genius emerged. The tasks that others saw as meaningless and disconnected from purpose became the stepping stones for Musk to revolutionize entire industries. Just like Musk, when you are free to pursue what resonates with your soul, you can break barriers and achieve greatness that the world cannot even begin to comprehend. In 1 Corinthians 9:24, Paul reminds us to run in such a way as to get the prize. The race you are running is not the same race as those around you. It is not measured by grades or following traditional paths to success. Your race is about finding and fulfilling your divine purpose, not about running to meet the expectations of others. When you are engaged in work that aligns with your purpose, it is no longer a struggle. The tasks become meaningful, and the process becomes a reflection of God's calling on your life. Does it seem like you're always fighting against a system that doesn't recognize your true potential? The world's educational framework, with its emphasis on conformity and standardized results, doesn't take into account the deeper talents and interests that drive you. But this disconnect doesn't mean you are incapable of succeeding. It means that your potential cannot be confined by traditional methods. The tasks that once felt like obstacles are, in reality, opportunities for you to find your true calling. When allowed the space and freedom to pursue your passions, you will excel far beyond what the world expects. Consider the example of Maya Angelou, who faced numerous challenges growing up, including a difficult education system that didn't value her voice or her unique perspective. But Angelou didn't let this hinder her. She went on to become one of the most influential writers, poets, and activists of the 20th century, inspiring generations with her wisdom and creativity. Angelou's success didn't come from memorizing dates or following rigid rules. Instead, it came from her passion for telling stories that mattered, her drive to inspire change, and her deep commitment to her purpose. Like Angelou, you are meant to find your own path, a path that does not conform to the world's limited expectations. In Psalm 90:17, we are reminded to seek God's purpose in our work. May the favor of the Lord our God rest on us, establish the work of our hands for us, yes, establish the work of our hands. This verse is a prayer asking for God's guidance in our work, that our efforts would be in alignment with His will and His purpose. For the chosen ones, this is a reminder that your work is not just about completing tasks, it is about finding and establishing the work that God has prepared for you. When you are aligned with your divine calling, the work you do will be meaningful and transformative. So, chosen ones, as you continue your journey, remember that your struggle with meaningless tasks is not a reflection of your lack of ability. It is a sign that you are being called to do something greater, something that aligns with your higher purpose. When you are allowed the freedom to pursue the things that ignite your passion, you will not only excel, but will create change that the world has never seen. Number 5. You were sensitive to energy. Have you ever walked into a room and instantly felt the shift in the atmosphere, almost as if the air itself was heavy with emotion or unspoken tension? Do you find that you often pick up on the subtle energies of those around you, feeling their anxiety, their frustration, or even their dishonesty, long before anyone speaks? For you, the chosen ones, this heightened sensitivity to energy is not just a passing feeling. It is a deep, intrinsic part of who you are. You are not just aware of the external world, you are attuned to it on a spiritual level, sensing energies that others may be oblivious to. Why does it seem that some people are able to navigate chaotic environments without much thought, while you feel every emotion, every fluctuation of energy so deeply? Have you ever found yourself overwhelmed in a crowded room or a stressful classroom, feeling mentally and emotionally drained by the energy around you? It's as though you absorb everything, every worry, every fear, every unspoken tension. In fact, do you sometimes feel that your sensitivity is not a gift, but a burden? How do you protect yourself when the world around you feels like an emotional minefield? Classrooms, with their artificial lighting, rigid schedules, and emotionally charged atmosphere, can feel like a constant barrage of overwhelming energy for the chosen ones. The constant low hum of stress from exams, the palpable peer pressure, and the societal expectations of performance create an environment that can be mentally suffocating. Your sensitivity makes you more aware of these dynamics, so much so that you might even feel physically affected by them. Have you ever walked into a room and immediately felt a wave of exhaustion or anxiety that wasn't yours? That's your sensitivity in action, picking up on the collective energy in the room. In a place like school, where you're expected to conform to strict schedules and meet predefined expectations, this sensitivity can often make you feel out of place. You are designed to thrive in environments that allow you to feel, explore, and discover. But the chaos of rigid rules and constant emotional pressure leaves you drained. Can you relate to this experience of feeling disconnected from the structured, emotionally dense environments around you, even when others seem to navigate it without a second thought? In Psalm 34:18, we are reminded that the Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. This verse speaks to you, chosen ones, because it reassures you that God understands your sensitivity and your struggle with the overwhelming energies around you. Your ability to feel deeply is not a weakness, it is a gift. And while it may leave you feeling drained at times, God is always near to comfort you, to restore your spirit, and to guide you through those heavy moments when the energy around you becomes too much to bear. But what if your sensitivity is actually part of your divine purpose? What if, rather than seeing it as a burden, you begin to recognize it as an invitation to deepen your connection with the world, to heal, and to help others in ways that others cannot? Do you sometimes feel as though you are here not just to experience the world, but to help others navigate their emotional and energetic challenges as well? This ability to feel and understand others on such a deep level allows you to offer empathy, compassion, and healing in ways that others may not be able to. Consider the example of Mother Teresa, whose sensitivity to the suffering of others became her life's mission. She felt the weight of human suffering deeply, but it was her profound sensitivity to this energy that allowed her to heal and help countless people around the world. Mother Teresa's ability to perceive and respond to the energies of others wasn't a burden. It was the fuel for her mission to serve the world. Just as she was able to sense the pain in the world and respond with love, you too are called to use your sensitivity for a higher purpose, to heal, to comfort, and to guide others who are struggling with emotional or spiritual turmoil. In John 14:27, Jesus offers us peace that transcends understanding. "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid." As a chosen one, God has given you a special gift, the peace that only He can provide. This peace is a shield that protects you from the overwhelming energies of the world. While you may feel drained or affected by the energies around you, God's peace is a constant source of strength. It is in this peace that you can find the balance and clarity you need to navigate the emotional chaos of the world without losing yourself. Have you ever struggled to focus or feel at ease in environments filled with intense emotions or negativity? This is common for chosen ones, as your sensitivity makes it difficult to perform or even function in environments that don't nurture your spiritual well-being. But just as Jesus offered peace to His disciples, He offers the same to you. By leaning into God's peace and seeking refuge in Him, you can regain your strength and protect your sensitive nature. Look at the example of Brené Brown, a researcher and author who is known for her work on vulnerability and empathy. Brown's sensitivity to the emotional struggles of others allowed her to write books that have touched millions of lives. Her sensitivity is a gift that enables her to understand and connect with others on a profound level. Rather than being overwhelmed by the emotional burdens she encounters, Brown has learned to embrace her sensitivity and use it to make a difference. Like Brené Brown, you too can use your sensitivity to guide and help others, turning what could be a weakness into one of your greatest strengths. In 2 Corinthians 12:9, Paul writes, "But he said to me, 'My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore I will boast all the more gladly of my weaknesses, so that the power of Christ may rest upon me.'" This verse is a reminder that your sensitivity, though it may feel like a burden at times, is actually a conduit for God's grace and power. When you feel overwhelmed by the energy of others, remember that God's grace is enough to carry you through. Your sensitivity is not a curse. It is the very thing that allows God's power to shine through you, allowing you to help others in ways that go beyond what is possible in your own strength. So, as a chosen one, remember that your sensitivity is a divine gift. Yes, it may sometimes feel overwhelming, especially in chaotic or emotionally charged environments, but it is through this sensitivity that you are able to connect with the world, heal others, and bring peace and light where it is most needed. Trust that, with God's guidance, you will not only navigate these challenges, but also use them to fulfill the purpose He has for you. Number 6, you saw through the illusion. Have you ever looked at the world around you and felt like you were seeing things through a different lens, one that others couldn't quite comprehend? From a young age, you, the chosen ones, had an innate understanding that the world is not as it seems. While others were conditioned to measure success by grades, degrees, and external validation, you saw through the illusion that these things truly define who you are. Have you ever wondered why the pursuit of trophies, scholarships, or recognition left you feeling empty, as if they didn't hold the answers you were seeking? The truth is that the world often presents an illusion of success, one that promises fulfillment but only offers temporary satisfaction. Most people are caught up in the cycle of chasing achievements, believing that their worth is determined by their GPA or the titles they hold. But from an early age, you intuitively knew that life was about far more than test scores and academic accolades. You knew that real success comes from something deeper, something that cannot be measured by a number or a certificate. Does this internal knowing ever leave you questioning why so many people continue to chase after things that don't bring lasting fulfillment? In 1 John 2:16, the Bible cautions us, "For everything in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, comes not from the Father, but from the world." This verse highlights the illusion of worldly success, the material success that society encourages you to chase, whether it's recognition, wealth, or status, comes from the world and not from God. As a chosen one, you're not meant to seek validation from external sources. Your worth is found in your relationship with God and the purpose He has set for your life. The pursuit of worldly success is an illusion that can never satisfy your deeper spiritual needs. Does it ever feel like you're swimming against the current? While your peers were busy chasing after awards and striving for societal validation, you were searching for something much greater, a deeper sense of purpose that could not be found in academic accomplishments or external recognition. You knew that real intelligence isn't measured by a GPA. It's found in the ability to think independently, to navigate the complexities of life, and to live authentically. Have you ever felt frustrated or even alienated by a system that values rote memorization and external achievements over independent thought and personal growth? Think about the example of Albert Einstein, whose brilliance was not measured by the academic standards of his time. As a young student, Einstein struggled in traditional schools and was often considered a poor student. But what made him extraordinary was his ability to think beyond the confines of the system. Einstein didn't seek success in the way that others did. Instead, he followed his curiosity and challenged the established scientific views of his time. His work on relativity revolutionized physics, showing the world that intelligence is about seeing the world in new ways, not fitting into existing molds. Like Einstein, you, as the chosen ones, are not called to conform to society's standards. You are meant to challenge the status quo and explore deeper truths that the world may overlook. In Proverbs 4:7, we are reminded, "The beginning of wisdom is this: get wisdom. Though it cost all you have, get understanding." Wisdom is not about acquiring external achievements or accolades. It is about understanding life at a deeper level. For the chosen ones, true wisdom comes from seeking God's truth, not from chasing after superficial success. The world may measure success by external markers like grades and degrees, but you understand that true wisdom is found in the pursuit of knowledge that connects you to your divine purpose. Have you ever wondered why you struggled to fit into the system, especially when you saw others excelling in ways that didn't seem to resonate with you? The traditional educational system often fails to nourish the depth of your soul because it prioritizes conformity over creativity and external achievement over personal discovery. When you were forced to conform to its narrow standards, did you feel like something vital within you was being stifled? As the chosen ones, you are meant to seek knowledge that empowers you on a deeper level, that helps you connect with your true purpose and divine calling. This is why you feel disconnected from the educational system, because it often fails to honor the depth of your inner journey. Think about Steve Jobs, whose life is a testament to the power of seeing through the illusion of traditional success. Jobs dropped out of college because he recognized that the rigid academic system did not align with his vision and creative spirit. Instead of following the prescribed path, he pursued his passion for technology and innovation, which led to the creation of Apple, one of the most influential companies in the world. Jobs' success didn't come from traditional education or academic accolades. It came from his ability to think differently and follow his intuition. Like Jobs, you too are called to think outside the box, to walk your own path, and to embrace the wisdom that comes from following your divine purpose rather than conforming to the world's expectations. In Romans 12:2, Paul urges us, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." This is a call to the chosen ones to resist the pressure to conform. Your transformation begins when you choose not to follow the world's illusion of success. Instead, you are called to renew your mind, to see the world through God's eyes, and to embrace the unique path He has set before you. The path you walk may not align with the world's expectations, but it is the path that will lead to true fulfillment and purpose. As you continue your journey, remember that the pursuit of worldly success is an illusion. You were not created to chase after empty accolades or external validation. Your true purpose lies in seeking deeper wisdom, in thinking independently, and in living authentically. Like Einstein, Jobs, and so many other great thinkers, your success is not defined by the world's standards, but by your ability to live in alignment with God's will and to follow the path He has set for you. Number 7. You were daydreamers. Have you ever felt like your mind just naturally drifts into realms far beyond the ordinary? Do you often find yourself lost in thought, envisioning new worlds, ideas, and endless possibilities? As one of God's chosen ones, you were never meant to fit into the conventional mold. Your mind wasn't meant to be confined by the rigid rules of the world. While others might focus on the task at hand, you were exploring uncharted territories of your imagination, creating vast landscapes of thought that others couldn't even begin to understand. Does it sometimes feel like your daydreams are misunderstood by those around you? While others may be diligently copying notes or following the prescribed path, you were diving deep into your own mind, accessing creative insights and wisdom that were beyond the scope of the classroom. Daydreaming might have made you appear inattentive or distracted, but in reality, your mind was expanding and reaching towards something far greater than the current reality. The routines of school, with their rigid schedules and narrow focus, often felt like a cage for your consciousness, limiting the vastness of your imagination. But your ability to dream, to imagine beyond what is, was a sign of your higher awareness. In Ephesians 3:20, we are reminded of the incredible potential God has placed within us. Now to Him who is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine, according to His power that is at work within us. Your daydreams are not just idle thoughts. They are a reflection of God's power at work within you. They are glimpses of the extraordinary potential He has placed in your heart, possibilities that go beyond what the world can see. Your ability to dream and envision the future is part of your divine design, a gift that allows you to tap into the higher truths and purpose that God has prepared for you. Have you ever felt like the structure of traditional education simply didn't align with the way you think and feel? While your peers focused on measurable achievements, you were more concerned with the bigger picture, the deeper meaning behind what you were learning. Your mind was constantly working to connect ideas, uncover patterns, and imagine solutions that others hadn't even considered. The typical school environment, with its emphasis on memorization and conformity, didn't satisfy the deeper questions that stirred within you. Have you ever wondered why the conventional path never seemed to resonate with you? It's because you were never meant to follow the crowd. Your journey is about exploring the depths of your mind and discovering the divine purpose that only you can fulfill. Consider the story of J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series. Before achieving fame, Rowling spent years struggling with rejection and hardships, but her vivid imagination and ability to daydream led her to create an entire world that resonated deeply with millions. Her daydreams weren't distractions, they were the foundation of her creative genius. While the world may have seen her as lost in thought, she was actually creating something that would change the world. Like Rowling, you are also called to let your daydreams guide you toward greatness, to envision possibilities that others can't see, and to trust that your creative ideas have a divine purpose. In Proverbs 23:7, we are reminded that, "For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he." The thoughts and dreams you entertain in your mind shape who you are and who you are becoming. Your daydreams are not fleeting fantasies. They are the seeds of your future success, the vision of what is yet to come. God has placed within you the ability to see beyond the present moment, to imagine a reality that others may not yet comprehend. Your ability to tap into this creative realm is a sign of your deeper awareness and divine connection to the world around you. Does it sometimes feel like your dreams are so far removed from the reality around you that you struggle to find others who understand? While your peers might focus on grades or status, you are constantly thinking about larger questions, greater possibilities, and deeper truths. This ability to daydream, to explore what might seem like unreachable ideas, is not a flaw. It is a divine gift that connects you to the greater mysteries of life. As the chosen ones, you're meant to explore these realms of thought, to uncover new insights, and to bring those dreams into reality. The world might not always understand your vision, but trust that it is leading you towards something extraordinary. Think about the visionary artist Pablo Picasso, who was constantly creating new worlds through his art. Picasso's works were often misunderstood, and his unconventional approach was not always appreciated in his time. Yet, he was guided by his ability to envision what others could not, and his art changed the world. Picasso's daydreams and creative insights allowed him to break free from the norms and create masterpieces that still inspire us today. Like Picasso, your ability to dream is your gift. It allows you to break through the conventional boundaries and create something entirely new. In Romans 12:2, we are reminded not to conform to the patterns of this world. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Your daydreams are part of the transformation that happens when you allow your mind to expand and grow. The world may push you to conform, to follow the same path as everyone else, but you are not meant to do that. You are meant to think differently, to dream boldly, and to create the future that God has placed in your heart. As you continue on your journey, embrace your daydreams. Do not dismiss them as distractions, but recognize them as the powerful force that they are. Your daydreams are not merely flights of fancy. They are the reflections of the divine potential within you. They are the keys to unlocking your true purpose and vision. Trust that as you continue to explore the vast realms of your imagination, you are uncovering the path that God has set for you, a path that is uniquely yours to walk. Number 8. You were meant for something greater. Have you ever felt that the school system was simply one chapter in the vast story of your life? A chapter that didn't fit with the bigger picture of your purpose? Do you often find yourself questioning why the traditional educational system felt so confining, as if it was trying to fit you into a mold that didn't resonate with your heart? As one of God's chosen ones, you were never meant to conform to the rigid structures of traditional education. Your soul carries a far greater destiny, one that cannot be measured by grades, test scores, or diplomas. Have you ever realized that your true purpose extends far beyond the confines of what society deems important? While others sought to measure their worth through academic achievements, you were being shaped by something far more profound, something that couldn't be captured in a classroom. Your journey was never about fitting in or following a prescribed path. It was about embracing your uniqueness and stepping into the greatness that God has always destined for you. Have you ever felt like the conventional world simply doesn't align with your higher calling, that there is a deeper path you are meant to walk? In Isaiah 55:8-9, God reminds us, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." This verse speaks directly to you. The path that God has set for you is not confined to the narrow expectations of the world. His thoughts and ways are far higher than anything the world can measure, and the divine calling on your life is greater than what any classroom or institution can define. Have you ever struggled with the feeling that the academic system failed to recognize your gifts and potential? While others were busy chasing after grades and recognition, you were being shaped by a higher purpose, one that required a different kind of growth. How often did you feel like you were disconnected from a system that focused only on measurable success, while your heart and soul yearned for something far more meaningful? Consider Marie Curie, a pioneering scientist who defied societal expectations and broke free from the limitations of the traditional education system. Curie was a woman in a time when women were not encouraged to pursue careers in science. Yet, her relentless pursuit of knowledge led her to become the first woman to win a Nobel Prize, and the only person to win Nobel Prizes in two different scientific fields, physics and chemistry. Curie's story is a powerful reminder that true brilliance doesn't always fit into the world's conventional expectations. Like her, you are destined for something far greater than what the system could ever define for you. In Philippians 3:14, Paul encourages us, "I press on toward the goal to win the prize for which God has called me heavenward in Christ Jesus." Your purpose is not about conforming to the patterns of the world. It is about pressing on toward the higher goal, the divine prize that God has called you to. The world may measure success by external standards, but your true purpose is guided by God, who has called you to something far greater than what can be quantified in a classroom. Do you ever feel like the path you are on is not the one the world expects? That while others pursue diplomas, degrees, or social status, you are being drawn towards something far deeper. Your calling is not defined by what is easily visible or measurable. It is defined by the unique journey God has set before you. While others may seek validation through academic achievements, you are being shaped by a higher calling, one that transcends the narrow expectations of society. Look at the life of Nikola Tesla, whose extraordinary contributions to modern electricity were shaped not by the traditional systems of education, but by his visionary ideas. Tesla's work, including the development of alternating current (AC) electricity, revolutionized the world and changed the course of technological history. Tesla didn't conform to the norms of his time. Instead, he dreamed beyond what others could see. Like Tesla, you too are called to break free from the conventional and follow a path that is uniquely yours, one that aligns with your divine purpose. In 2 Timothy 1:9, Paul reminds us, "He has saved us and called us to a holy life, not because of anything we have done, but because of his own purpose and grace." Your calling is not based on your academic achievements, but on God's divine purpose for your life. You are not meant to conform to the world's expectations. You are called to something greater, to rise above, and to fulfill the unique purpose God has set for you. As you continue on your journey, Remember that your struggles within the system were never a sign of failure. They were part of the process that is shaping you for something greater. Trust that the path God has set before you will lead you toward your true purpose, one that goes far beyond anything the world can measure. Embrace your uniqueness, rise above the expectations of the world, and step into the greatness you were always destined for. Chosen one, if you resonated with any of these points, know that you are not alone. Your struggles in school were not a sign of failure. They were an indication that you were meant to think beyond the system. You were never meant to fit into the rigid framework that society had laid out for success. The challenges you faced were part of your unique journey, guiding you toward a greater purpose. Embrace that journey and trust that you are exactly where you need to be. The system may have tried to measure you by its own standards, but your mind and spirit were destined for something much greater. You have always been meant to think differently, to question the world around you, and to follow a path that may not look like everyone else's. While others may have focused on grades and titles, you were developing something far more important: your ability to connect with deeper truths and higher purposes. Know that your path, though it may not have followed the traditional route, is leading you exactly where you are meant to go. Embrace your uniqueness and trust that every struggle you faced in the system was preparing you for something extraordinary. You are not behind or off track. You are on the path you were always meant to walk. Beloved chosen one, as we reflect on the 8 reasons why God's chosen ones may not have been the brightest in school, it becomes clear that your journey was never meant to follow the traditional path. From learning differently, questioning everything, to seeking deeper spiritual knowledge, you've always been guided by a higher calling. The struggles and challenges you faced within the classroom were never a sign of failure. They were the very signs that you were destined for something far greater. Your ability to think beyond the system, to dream bigger, and to feel deeply has always been preparing you for a purpose that transcends the limited scope of what traditional education could offer. You were created to break free from the ordinary and fulfill a divine plan only you can carry out. I want to sincerely thank you for taking the time to watch this video, to reflect on these points, and for being part of this community. Your engagement, your thoughts, and your willingness to consider these ideas are deeply appreciated. If this message has resonated with you and you feel led to support this content, please consider donating through Super Thanks. But please know, whether you choose to donate or not, your support is truly valued. Your time, attention, and the energy you bring by being here are what truly matter, and I'm so thankful for each and every one of you. Before we end, I want to offer this prayer for you. May God continue to bless and guide you as you walk your unique path. May you have the courage to embrace the fullness of your purpose, even when the world around you doesn't understand it. May He fill your heart with peace, your mind with clarity, and your spirit with unshakable confidence in the extraordinary destiny He has prepared for you. Know that you are exactly where you need to be, and your journey is unfolding just as it was meant to. Trust in the process, trust in yourself, and trust that God's plan for you is far greater than you can imagine. Blessings to you, always, and thank you for being part of this incredible journey.